So we're talking about our 5 years in the future. Is this the time we talk about this kind of?
Um, is that the focus for this one?
Let me look at the syllabus real quick. I haven't pulled up.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about these videos. I kind of get a general sense of what we have to talk about, but it's not as specific. So it says here the coaching client exercise number 2 focuses on your best possible self and the hope assessment.
Okay. Well, let's get started then.
Sure.
So, well, good to see you.
Thank you. You too, Giles.
You've had a good week.
Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a productive week. We had some ups and downs and challenges, but we also had many rewards. So yeah, week 4 was good.
Okay, so tell me about your self-hope assessment.
Sure. Yeah. So I really had an open mind going into this assessment. I didn't really know what to anticipate. But interesting enough, after the hope scale that we took, I split even on the two that what it explained. I forget the exact wording of it.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it showed me that I'm a very determined individual. Something that's I am a pretty hopeful individual. So I think that this goes based upon my personality and just kind of how I see life in general. But I guess I wasn't really necessarily surprised by the scale.
Right. Yeah. And is there anything you saw there that you'd like to change?
Generally, self-confidence, I think, was a little lower on the scale, and just coming up with fine details on how to go about being necessarily happier. I'd have to bring up my results because I can't remember off the top of my head. So I know it scored a 26, I believe, for each of the scales, and 53 was my total.
Yeah, it's about the same as me, actually, I think, on those accounts. Yeah.
Let me bring it up real quick, just so I have it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Because I wanted to see the exact questions, they asked, or the scale. So something about the scale that I ranked pretty high was the 9th question on, my past experiences have prepared me well for my future. And I generally believe that's true for me. Because whether it is my personal life, what I've experienced, going through moving to different locations, starting new jobs, being a full-time professional, going back into the student role in grad school, just I guess class in a way, social capital, in that sense, that's prepared me well for the future, and as well as my working experiences and what I've developed professionally, earning degrees, trying to earn another degree, and then hopefully being on the job hunt.
Yeah, okay. So something you mentioned in there was building confidence. And something in this process is I know big on is focusing on what are your accomplishments that you're most proud of. And I know you've mentioned your degrees. What else are you proud of?
Well, I'm really proud of the relationships I've built within the Athens community and in-campus community. Athens is not that big of a place. It is, a county seat, but it has a lot of people in it. A lot of people come and go. But generally, I'm really proud of the work I've done and who I've got to meet. So, for example, my GA position last year, it focused around community engagement. So part of our work experiences was going out, meeting the mayor, meeting city council, and then connecting what they see as the best possible future kind of for Athens and tying that message back into the student population, and just making that collaboration, volunteer service learning efforts better for Athens.
Yeah, gotcha. Um, and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, that's a good question. I had to think about this for a long time. Generally, I do not see myself in this area come 5 years. I think I generally have a goal of moving away into a new, not only environments like, specifically more of an urban environment, somewhere that's more kind of like hustle and bustle, rather than the urban.
City, yeah.
Yes, yeah, city life basically. But also just being established in my career, having a full-time job, full benefits, making a pretty livable salary.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm on the right track with that, going through these classes, courses in grad school, building up my working experiences, but also just potentially starting a family and meeting somebody on the relationships level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to fully engage in that, whether it be, hopefully when the pandemic will be semi over with, but actually going out dating again, meeting someone that can be interested in me as much as I'm interested in them. So
yeah,
generally a total flip flop of what I'm experiencing right now. That's how I generally see. I'll be at my best.
yeah. Well, I mean, and I can see it's with the pandemic and so on. Some of these things are hard right now, but hopefully will get a lot easier. Have you thought about more specifically locations? So, are we talking within the United States? Are we talking hot, cold?
Yeah, I want to stay domestic here in the United States. I don't anticipate going, outside of the country, even though that would be a cool opportunity, maybe on a vacation or something. But I would love to go down south. That's kind of my location, my region. I want to go towards. I am kind of sick of the cold, and I'm from the area, Appalachia region of the country. So for me, just self-discovery and a new location, and kind of comparing what I'm grow up with, what I'm kind of familiar with, into a new location and territory. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you a specific place I really want to go to, at least here soon, is Texas, because Texas has a really cool, environment, culture. It's a big state. There's a lot of opportunities for higher education there, since there's a lot of institutions in the state, and their food's awesome too. So it's just
and someone was just telling me recently the beaches. You don't really hear too much about Texas beaches, but someone was saying, just miles of, you can have a mile of beach to yourself, and it's the most beautiful beach you've ever seen.
Right. I just heard people are friendlier in the South. I don't know if that's true, since I haven't experienced it.
I think with the exception of Florida, yes.
Florida's a whole different animal.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, it sounds like you've got some really good, solid objectives there, and there's just some stuff you've got to get through to get there. I mean, we got to get COVID over, graduated, and then I think the other pieces should start to fall in place.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to build up my, what I can do for myself, in the know, within the next couple of years, and then I can branch out and expand upon the opportunities that present myself or to me once I get to this place or that specific location, and then just kind of roll with the punches there and see what new experiences and folks I can meet.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, I see all those pieces in place, being maybe in Texas, working for an institution, maybe close to the beach or something like that. I don't know if I put that in there or you did, but with a partner, a family, that's all great. Are there any other components you foresee that would contribute to that best possible self?
Something that I know it's one of your goals, Giles. Something I was thinking about this week is losing weight, kind of just changing my image a little bit. I think that would be kind of cool just to experience, not only moving, but
Hmm.
making them in better shape. Being in grad school right now, I'm not exactly eating
Yeah.
healthiest with being cooped up inside all the time. But I think that's something that I can change, just kind of my persona. I think it would be cool.
Hmm.
And that might come with the culture where I'm around, wherever I go.
Yeah.
Maybe I will have a cowboy boots and cowboy hat. But
And have you thought about any interests outside of work that you'd like to pursue?
yeah, it's also a good question. I love to travel as much as I can.
Yeah.
Just exploring new cities, new places. Breweries is something that I love to explore. I do like my craft beer.
Uh huh.
So doing something like that. Um, Down south, if I'm lucky to go down that way, they have all sorts of sporting events. Sports is really huge down there. So football. I'm a huge college football fan. So making to as many games I think as possible. Post pandemic, we can go back into the stadiums and watch things like that. So I kind of sip culture wherever I'm at. So whatever is kind of the cool thing to do where I'm located. That's kind of what I'll stick with. But nothing specific right now that I can totally think of, but I would like to engage, something in more of my personal life as I go along.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we can stop there. If you're recording, right? Or no,
You are.
I'm recording. Hold on. And I have to figure out how to stop. So stop recording. That looks like the one.